Hello everyone, and happy holidays. During this special time of year, most folks like to stay inside, drink some hot chocolate, and sit by the fire. So for today, I thought it would be fitting to do absolutely none of those things, because this video is actually for a class about Asian culture. Just as a bit of a forewarning, I can barely pronounce words in English correctly, so you can bet that I'm going to screw up pretty much every word that comes from somewhere that isn't the United States. Yeehaw, that don't matter, because I come from the greatest country on earth. We may not have free healthcare or politicians that aren't corrupt, but we got lots of guns and beer. Now, this was written during the Warring States period, which, to overly simplify things, was when China was divided across multiple kingdoms, all fighting against each other. Qu Yuan was a member of the royal house of Chu, and served as high minister until the new king eventually banished him. This betrayal would act as a sort of inspiration for encountering sorrow, and it's pretty darn good. Lots of layers of subtext, and it takes you on this very emotional journey. I also gotta say that I love reading old texts like this because they're so eloquently written. They can make going to the store to buy bread sound like an epic quest of biblical proportions. Hark, for I haven't gone to eat in a fortnight. Good Lord, I just need some bread to satiate my unquenchable hunger. Godspeed. I just want to say that for this next text, I won't have as much to say because I didn't personally connect with it as much as I did the other ones. I have the same compliment for this one as I had in the last one, in the fact that it's very eloquently written. I also just love the range of emotions that this guy is able to do with his various poems. In total, I read Returning to the Farm to Dwell, Begging for Food, and Outing Under the Cypress Tree at the Chu Family Graves? Jesus, sounds like a Lana Del Rey song. And I read a little bit of 20 Poems After Drinking Wine, which sounds like a great time. I might have to do this as soon as I finish recording. Like the last one, I don't have as much to say here as I don't personally relate to it that much. Kind of hard to do that as a middle-class American dude born in 2000, when this guy was the son of a samurai born in 1835. There are some things I can relate to, like being a bit of a social outcast and having an interest in other cultures. The thing I find most interesting, though, is just how much of a self-study this is. I find it fascinating how he's able to talk about his own life as if it were someone else's. I found this text to be very inspiring for me personally. Not so much because it's just about a guy in a wheelchair learning to love life for what it is, which sounds like the plot to a bad Hallmark movie. The thing that I really love about this is just how raw and real it feels. It captures a wide array of emotions, from intense frustration to awe-inspiring beauty. This text also has a lot to do with the author's philosophies. He'll go on these long tangents about life and fate and death that may not sound very fun to the average schmuck, but I love thinking and talking about this very unique human condition that we all live in. And before you ask, yes, I am fun at parties. Journey to the West is another text that I did very much enjoy, but it's a bit difficult to talk about in a video that's meant to be under 6 minutes long. It kind of reminds me of like a Bible story, if that makes any sense. Like, it's a bit strange and random at points, but if you really wanted to break it down piece by piece, you'd have a whole hell of a lot to talk about. I will say that I do love this text for one thing in particular, and that is introducing me to the character of Sun Wukong, the Monkey King. I also love the name he gives himself, which is Great Sage equal to Heaven. It sounds so badass. Like, I want to put that on a business card or something. Now, this is the book that I wanted to talk about the most. I think it's great at being able to deal with some really heavy topics and make it more digestible to younger audiences. Going in, I wasn't sure what to expect from this book. I had, seen it in libraries before. I had heard the name before, but other than that, I knew nothing of the story. I thought it would be just some kid's book with subtly
anti-racist
themes. But oh no, it goes all out with that. The mean white kids are calling the main character slurs. There's a fictional character named Chinky who's every single Asian stereotype rolled into one. Despite all of that, it still has very likable and down-to-earth characters. And even the characters who are really over the top are much of the same. Take the Monkey King, for example. Instead of making him an incredibly confident ape, we see him with insecurities and reasons for wanting to change. I absolutely love this panel. It's so simple, yet it's able to convey what it's like to suddenly have these kinds of insecurities in such a potent way. I also think the 3 individual stories happening in the book are well executed. I mean, the way they all connect canonically is a little weird and out of left field, but thematically they all work together immensely strong. If you have an interest in experiencing literature from another part of the world, I would highly recommend you check them out. I just think it's worth seeing how other people from the world live. I find it to be genuinely interesting. Like always, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a lovely day. This is me, signing off.